to appear. The first, latest, second week after recess. Honorable members, let also endeavor to be in the House when that is communicated. Those questions that you're asking, that will be the right forum to get the responses and get the way forward. Next order. Honorable Makali Mulu, I have already said we go to the next order. I don't know which.
Amata.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity. I've looked at the order paper, and I see that there is order number 9, which is going to discuss the committee of the whole House, and part of that will be the finance bill, Honorable Speaker. But when I look at the order paper, I don't see any amendments. I'm aware the committee said they will be amending, and also our side will be amending. Can you guide us, the House, Honorable Speaker, on that matter?
Honorable Makali Mulu, that is a fair question. Give me some time as we move to order number 8. We will give you a response on the same. Next order.
Order number 8, the supplementary appropriation, number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2026, second reading.
Chair, budget, back BSc.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to move that the supplementary appropriation bill number 2, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2026, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, yesterday the House debated the supplementary estimates robustly, and most members were able to participate in that debate. Now it is time for this House to give government powers and authority to be able to withdraw funds from consolidated fund for implementation of the programs that are listed in this bill. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that this bill is basically the same as what we discussed yesterday. And just for the recap of members who may not have been in the House yesterday, is to say that we intend to withdraw 18.8 billion in the supplementary 2 estimates for purposes of fulfilling a number of programs that are listed in the bill. One of which is programs to do with development of sports. Honorable Speaker, we are preparing to host the African Cup of Nations. And Honorable Speaker, we have been working on preparing several stadiums for the purpose of the events that are going to come. Towards this, Honorable Speaker, we have allocated 4.1 billion that will be used to improve various stadiums across the country. Some will be used for training for the teams that are going to participate. Others are going to be used for the live matches. For example, Honorable Speaker, we have the Talanta Stadium, the Raila Odinga Talanta Stadium, which is one of the stadiums that are going to be used, and we have allocated resources here to be used to ensure that the stadium is completed in time for the games. Honorable Speaker, we have also allocated resources for water programs, the Mwache Dam, which is in Kwale, Honorable Speaker. This is a donor-funded program that we need to spend about 2.3 billion. The funds are ready with the donors to be disbursed, just awaiting the passage of this bill. Honorable Speaker, we have resources for Nyota. We have 847 billion that is going towards the National Youth Opportunities towards Advancement Program Nyota that we intend to appropriate. Honorable Speaker, we have 1.5 billion, which is going for invigilation services. Honorable Speaker, during the last exams, our invigilators across the country were employed and their resources to pay them did not come. So we are allocating 1.5 billion shillings that is going towards payment of vigilators. Honorable Speaker, we have also security concerns. And yesterday I explained, Honorable Speaker, that anytime we need to take care of our security situation in the country, anytime we need to take care of our security as a country, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, there are security needs that needs to be sorted out, and towards this, we have resources that we have allocated here that will be used to take care of our security globally in the country. Honorable Speaker, this is a very small bill that I just want the House to help us by giving the government authority to spend these resources by passing the appropriations, the supplementary appropriations bill, as is in the order paper. Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I would like to ask the Vice Chairman of Budget Committee to second.
Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I stand to second the supplementary appropriation number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2026. And this is to allow the government to now withdraw funds to be able to fund the projects as ably substantiated by my chair, and therefore I second.
Very well. Order, members. Honorable members, allow me then to put the question, to propose the question that the supplementary appropriation bill number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 38 of 2026, be now read a second time. Order, members. I have a lot of interest on this bill. Allow me to give it to the member for Moiben. Is she in the house? Member for Kajiado North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is just 2 weeks to the end of the financial year. An appropriation bill that wants to give the Deputy President 200 million, 1 billion to the State House. Madam Speaker, when are they going to spend this money? At what point are they going to spend? On what? Madam Speaker, amounting to 6.5 billion for general expenses. For public service, Mr. Speaker, a place where you know very well, you have increased the number of employees. Madam Speaker, you are worth just 198. My problem is the lack of priority for this administration. Honorable members, it is important for you to note that at the end of the financial year, your NGCDF has not been 100% up to this point. What we should be talking about is 100% of NGCDF resources that are pro-people. And Madam Speaker, it is important for members to know, when you bring supplementary to appropriation, all your pending roads should have been on this supplementary, so that if the Honorable Soro has roads in South Migurango, if I have roads, we should have prioritized this 5 billion to go to these pending projects. But we are taking them for recurrent expenditure. I have a big issue with that. While the chair of the committee is very efficient in facilitating the executive, be efficient in facilitating stalled projects in the Nyanza region, in the Coast region. Don't be very fast to facilitate other operations. And you have 1.5 billion for other operations in the Office of Interior Security, in Office of Internal Security and National Administration. Madam Speaker, it is important for you to know that some of the pending issues in this bunge, some of the things of the project that we have wished to do, they have not been factored in. These 2 weeks, of course, you know very well, even some of you have problem with your own offices. You had requested for resources and they have not been catered in. Allow me to also say that it is important for the projects that we talked about while we were beginning these sessions, and they have already been procured, and what has told them is resources. So when you put in 6 billion to recurrent expenditure, it's a shame on you, honorable members. And the Honorable Soro, you want to come here and say yes, yes, yes. You even don't want us to debate this. You want us to go to the vote. I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for according me this opportunity. I do not need to belabor that the priorities of the Kenya Kwanza administration are lost. Recurrent administration is not what you should prioritize. Some of you that are complaining here, like the member for Nandi Hills, your roads are dire. They are in bad shape. You should be talking about your roads, not recurrent expenditure. The Honorable Soro, you have problems with roads in your constituency. With those many remarks, this is the worst supplementary tool we have ever had. It is so unconstitutional. 2 weeks, how are they going to spend 6.5 billion in other expenses? It is not even possible. This is budgeted corruption. This is what we are saying no to. With those many remarks, you can have your cake, take your budget with your president, go and do what you so wish. But Kenyans are watching you.
Very well. Member for Baringo North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, before I deal with the Honorable and the issues raised, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I rise to support
Please
this.
don't deal with honorable members. Deal with the bill.
Madam Speaker, I rise to support this last supplementary of 2025-2026 financial year. Madam Speaker, the intention of this supplementary is to finance programs that might not have been captured or resources have been allocated in the main budget and subsequent supplementaries. It does not mean that other programs that have been budgeted, procured for, are not being funded, Madam Speaker. It means programs that were not captured, for example, even in Kajiado North, where Honorable Ngogoyo comes from, there are teachers who marked the examination. There are invigilators who did work, and they have not been paid. Madam Speaker, does it mean that the Honorable member from Kajiado, where teachers marked the examination and invigilated, does not want them to be paid? Madam Speaker, these are Kenyans that have already worked for, and they need to be supported so that they can be able to carry out the next invigilation and examination of this year, Madam Speaker. Secondly, Madam Speaker, we as a country has a privilege to host the African Cup of Nations here in Kenya. If we don't work on our stadium, including the Talanta Stadium, we lose, Madam Speaker. How do we restore confidence of other African countries to come to our country so that they can be able to participate in sports? Madam Speaker, does it mean these members who oppose this supplementary budget do not want this country to host the African Cup of Nations? Madam Speaker, let us differentiate between politics and propaganda and deal with issues that affect our people and remain patriotic. Even if you are in opposition, there is need for you to become patriotic in your country. When good things are supposed to be done in your country, Madam Speaker, you need to become a patriot, not play politics of hate, politics of propaganda all the time when issues are being raised in our country that require support of all of us, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, the programs, Madam Speaker, including the 1 billion for State House, Madam Speaker, and many other resources. Madam Speaker, you've seen the development that has gone place. There are Kenyans who have supplied goods and services. They need to be paid, Madam Speaker. Yeah, I will accept the point of information.
Do you want to be informed by Honorable Soro?
Yes.
Honorable Soro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to inform the Honorable Makelap, especially on the question of State House and the presidency budget in general, even as we talk about the supplementary 2 appropriation. You know, one thing, and I think Honorable Ngogoyo should listen very keenly, that when we talk about presidency budget, stop looking at it from a limited or a pipeline or a straight line that it is William Ruto. Presidency is, this particular house passed that all the former presidents and the president that have served in this country should be remunerated even as they retire. They have their pension that the presidency takes care of. The State House budget takes care of the budget of the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. The presidency takes care of, the State House budget takes care of the former president all the former president's family. It is not a preserve of one particular. That is the truth. That is the truth. It is a collective thing of the presidency. I know you have no idea, of course, but you need to be informed as such. So when you look at the appropriation.
Order, Honorable Osoro. Do not debate. You are to inform Honorable Makilap, not to debate. Take your seat, Honorable Osoro.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, I will give all of you a chance to speak. Honorable Makilap.
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Makilap,
there is no point of order
there is no
on my
one on the
side.
feet who has said anything.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Makilap, finish
Yes.
your submission.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm winding up. Madam Speaker, what I was raising, Madam Speaker, is that programs of government and offices, including that of the Deputy President, Madam Speaker, if there are programs and development projects that have been done in those offices, the people who supplied goods and services in this country requires to be paid, Madam Speaker. This money is going to good use, Madam Speaker, to bridge the gap for those things that are necessary for the development of our country, Madam Speaker. Let members not see when there is an allocation for State House, believe that the money will go to one President William Ruto. No, this State House will belong to generations. Even my good friend here will one day become president and will be able to use that house and will have a very good place. Even my good friend here could be another president. Even my good friend Clive, you can become president and you will want to live in a very good place. So, Madam Speaker, I rise to support this last supplementary budget, Madam Speaker. That let us approve it. Let us move on with
members.
it.
Honorable Gisairo, what is out of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You know, Honorable Makilapa said, I want to be a future president. There is nothing.
Is that out of order?
That is out of order. He's naming
For
me
Honorable
an ambition.
Makilap to say you'll be a future president, is that out of order?
I have not said that intention. My future president is Honorable Matiang'i. So let us be very specific. And secondly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Order, members.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Gisairo.
Osoro cannot mislead
Honorable
this house
Gisairo.
and say former
Honorable
president.
Gisairo, Honorable Osoro is not on his feet. You rose on a point of order to say that Honorable Makilap should not say you'll be the president. That is not out of order. Honorable Makilap, kindly wind up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was saying, Madam Speaker, and this is for posterity, that each one of us, if you find favor from God, one time you will also become a president in this country. And I mentioned to him. And let us also appreciate that God will reward each one of you in many ways. And one of us inside here will become a president and will be able to use State House. That is properly done, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, let us approve this supplementary budget to meet expenditure for those programs that are so critical to the people of Kenya at this particular moment, and call upon all of us. Let us become patriotic for our country. This is Kenya. This country belongs to all of us, regardless of where you come from.
Member for Funyula. Not on this. Member for Kajiado West. If you want to speak on this, because honorable members have logged in, indicate in the intervention. Honorable Emase, use the intervention because so many of you are listed and are not intending to speak on this. Honorable Emase.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. And this is a very important bill, supplementary appropriations to Bill of 2026. Honorable Speaker, this bill is important in the sense that it gives power and authority to National Treasury to be able to draw funds from the consolidated fund to finance the various programs as specified in the votes and the programs of the ministry. And yesterday, Honorable Speaker, I didn't get an opportunity to contribute, but while listening, I think we were advised that it's important that we read. And then I want to educate the Honorable Member for Kajiado, Honorable Goyo, who was speaking and referring to this budget, not to this supplementary appropriation, not to be addressing issues touching on the people, the pro people. And Honorable Speaker, when I look at this appropriations bill, there is an allocation of 2.3 billion for water and sanitation. Honorable Speaker, there is an allocation of 4.1 for capital, that's development expenditure in the State Department for Sports. There is also an allocation of 1.9 billion for youth affairs and creative economy. And Honorable Speaker, there is an allocation of 3.8 billion for the micro and small and medium enterprises development. These are all pro-people programs that have been prioritized here by the supplementary appropriations. And in any case, this is just a supplementary rearrangement of the budget to move funds to where they are needed the most. Otherwise, all those programs that you are referring to have been factored for in the main budget. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support.
Very well. Honorable Engineer Zengu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this important motion. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I just wanted to contribute on matters to do with Mwache Dam, but even as I go to Mwache Dam, I want to ask a clarification. This money that is appropriated under the presidency, I want to be guided whether it's the same money that is supposed to honor the pledges that have been given by the president. Honorable Speaker, the president in 2023 came to my constituency and promised that he's going to buy a school bus for a school called Tharaka Girls, and promised that he's going to do another school in Kakombe, and he promised so many things in my constituency. Those things have not been done. So I'm hoping.
Honorable Engineer Zengu, take your seat for a minute. There is a point of order from member for Endebess.
Honorable Speaker, I stand under Standing Order 81 on relevance. We are talking about appropriation bill, where we are supplementary appropriation bill, where we are talking about government, allowing government to withdraw funds to finance. The only relevant thing in that supplementary is where we are paying teachers, the invigilators, and the examiners. So when Honorable Nsengu brings in the issue of a promise of a school bus, is he in order, Honorable Speaker, to bring relevance into this debate?
Honorable Nsengu.
Honorable Speaker, I do not have any other opportunity to request for fairness for my constituents, so I stand by my demand that if we are appropriating money for the presidency, then that money should be directed to honor that pledge. Honorable Speaker, I stand guarded. Honorable Speaker, on the matter of Mwache Dam, Honorable Speaker, we visited as a committee, because I belong to the Committee of Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation, and we realized that the community where the water is being abstracted from is not benefiting from the Mwache project. The water is being collected from the Mwache area, but the water is going to Mombasa County. And we insisted as a committee that the community, the host community, must be considered in that project. So I hope that part of this money will be used to provide water for the host community. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, this has been the story over and over again in the project where the Karemeno project. You realize the Karemeno in Murang'a, you realize that the host community is not benefiting from the water. The water is
Karemeno in Murang'a?
Karemeno is in Ruiru, I think it's Murang'a.
It is not in Murang'a, but
okay, that project, the Northern Collector Tunnel. Let me correct myself. The Northern Collector Tunnel, which is in Murang'a, when we visited that project, again the same story of the host community not benefiting and the water benefiting some communities downstream is the same that has been repeated in Mwache. So, Madam Speaker, I want to urge that the planners of this water project must take care of the host community before it benefits other community. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Tharaka.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, today we are debating the bill itself. Yesterday we were on the estimates, but the statements that were made yesterday continue to be repeated this morning, and it's important that we also respond to them. Number one, we were given areas where this money is actually being appropriated to, and we debated on those areas. A repetition that there is money being allocated to the presidency. We have said that the presidency is as important as any other facet of this government. And to prove this, you can see what the office is doing as we speak today. The chief executive of the country is out of the country, busy working for this country in matters that are going to be of benefit to us. That is number one. Number two, as he works out there, the deputy president, and we must admit that we have one of the best deputy presidents since the era of Moi. Moi was the only other person who actually rivals Professor Kithure Kindiki. Absolutely. You can see the way he's running the country in the absence of the chief executive. I do repeat, without any qualms whatsoever, that
what is out of order, member for Kegumo?
What's the scale? I don't have to have your scale.
Take your seat, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think we must also be truthful and factual in this House, and all statements must be verifiable. How, starting order number 83, how can Murugara claim that you have the best deputy president since the era of Moi? What criteria are you using?
Honorable Gigi.
Thank you very much. Let me give you the right scale. The right scale is number one.
Other members, the member has just taken on his feet.
I haven't said anything.
He has not even spoken. Give him a minute to say something.
The scale I have used is my own scale. I am entitled to debate. I am entitled to express my opinion here. I can assure you, listen to why I say so, if you want to hear. Number one, Professor Kithure Kindiki understands the government.
Honorable members,
the government.
Honorable members, we agreed shouting will not sort out our issues. I am being very fair to give every person a chance to speak. Honorable members, Honorable Ngogoyo, take your seat. Take your seat. I have not given you the floor. Take your seat. Honorable members, let us maintain decorum. We were doing very well. Even now, there is no chance, there is no reason to be agitated. We will hear each other. So, honorable members, I know many of you are really pushing buttons today, but allow us. No, I'm not sending anyone out. And do not do the speaker's work. Do not do the speaker's work. I will give you, Honorable Kalasinga, what is out of order. It is not only you, Honorable Ngogoyo. Honorable members are raising points of orders.
Madam
I will
Speaker.
indulge Honorable Kalasinga.
Madam Speaker, is Honorable Murugara in order to insinuate that the current deputy president was elected by the people of Kenya? They were not. He was appointed by a few executives. Madam Speaker, can he purport to be telling us about the deputy president who was not elected on the ballot? On the ballot, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Murugara.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, it is important I remind you that I am a seasoned lawyer in this country, and everybody knows it. Nobody would ever point a finger at me. In this country, you do not elect a deputy president, my friend. Deputy presidents are nominated. Read your law. We never casted any votes for a deputy president, and we will never do so. Even Rigathi Gachagua, we did not vote for him.
What is out of order?
We voted for only the president.
Hold on, Murugara.
His name appears with a nominated deputy president.
Honorable Ngogoyo, what is out of order? And shouting at the speaker does not add to your cause. What is out of order?
Madam Speaker, and Madam Speaker, you know I have a lot of respect for you. I stand under Standing Order 97. 1, a member cannot speak on a question twice. The Honorable Murugara spoke yesterday on this question.
On what?
On this question on the supplementary budget. He's speaking for the second time. You cannot speak on a matter twice, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Gogoyo, that I know there is a lot of confusion of what went on yesterday and what is going on today. Honorable members, be guided that yesterday was the report, which was very different, which is very different from what we are dealing with today. This bill has just been moved today. Yesterday was something very different. So, honorable members, Honorable Murugara, do not explain that. The speaker has guided. It was not exhaustive. You did not speak yesterday.
The speaker
so, kindly
has guided.
Finish your submission and we make progress.
And I was called upon to substantiate what I said. Absolutely. No, substantiation is as follows. And I'm also a student of history. So I know what President Moi did when he was vice president to Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. So when I draw the comparison, when I draw the analogy, I have the facts in my fingertips. And if you wish to get them, I'll give them to you one by one. We must absolutely, we have said we are allocating 200 million to the office of the deputy president. And you cannot question that, I'm sorry, because we passed the estimates yesterday. If you were not here, you have yourself to blame. Number two, it depends on whether this motion, this bill, will carry the day or not. And it's going to carry the day. Therefore, we must appreciate the important work that Deputy President is doing for the country. And I must laud the ODM. When they gave us the experts, actually we from the Mount Kenya East, we also gave this government an expert in the name of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, I need to clarify to the House something very quickly. Yesterday's motion was the consideration of the supplementary estimates for the year 2025-2026 general debate, that this House adopts the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee on the consideration of the same. So that even the members who spoke yesterday, you still have a chance to speak today, because these are different bill, different motion. Are we together, honorable members? We are doing very well. Honorable members, I'll give the member for Suba South. Honorable Karoli.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I think what we are witnessing here is now the long list of examples of poor planning in this administration. A government that is very long on promises and short on delivery, that exhibits unprecedented confusion, impulsive expenditure, limited transparency and accountability. We have before us a supplementary budget concentrating resources in the office of the Deputy President for what they call operations, office of the State House for what they call operations again, Department of Internal Security for what they call general administration, and National Intelligence Service for what they don't even describe what it is. Madam Speaker, we know why this money is being allocated to these particular offices. It is to provide resources for political campaigns. We know that. They do it all the time. Confidential expenditure that nobody can verify. And it goes on a long list, including the failed Kisumu rally that was financed by the state.
Honorable Karoli, there is a point of order from the Chair, National Administration.
Give me the mic, please. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the learned, my good friend learned Karoli is misleading the House. And I want to challenge the members who are actually making noise on this. We should delink the office of the institution, the presidency, from the individuals. We should not use the floor of this House to do our cheap politics. It is my committee that appropriates and allocates funds to these offices. And I can confirm to the country and this House that these funds are well spent, they are justified, and they are to do them for the good of the country, not the individuals.
Order!
Yes.
Order! Keep on. Order! Is it you to ask him what's his point of order? Is that your business? Order! Order, Ngogoyo. Order. You rose on a point of order. Proceed and tell me what's your point of order. Order! What's your point of order?
Thank you, Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, I'm saying the learned friend, Karoli, should not mislead this House.
You're not
because
a lawyer. Are you a lawyer yourself?
I'm not.
So you don't, only lawyers can call one another learned friends. Order, proceed. Proceed.
He's my friend, but he's not learned. Honorable Speaker.
Okay, yeah.
The solution being offered is as bad as the problem itself. Mr. Speaker, wise men have told us before that life under good government is rarely dramatic. The life under a bad government is always so. Honorable Speaker, we are being told that there's money here being allocated for the completion of the stadiums that are being built for AFCON. Let me tell the world, the Talanta Stadium, which they want to name after our great leader Raila Amolo Odinga, is itself an example of how corrupt and how inept this government is. That particular stadium, the original costing was 18 billion. It was revised to 32 billion by University of Nairobi. Today, that stadium is costing $342 million.
What's your point of order, Honorable Dawood? Order. Honorable Dawood, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, yes. Honorable Karoli should substantiate when he said that this money is going for political campaigns. Can he substantiate which political campaigns is he talking about?
Honorable Speaker, there is a schedule here. The 200 million to the office of the Deputy President is
order, Honorable Karoli. The majority leader is on a point of order. Order.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, majority leader.
Honorable Speaker, I rise because I don't want to interrupt Honorable Karoli, and I want to just ask members. Honorable Karoli has his right to say whatever he wants to say. And Honorable Speaker, we are degrading the image of this House. Thoroughly. We are degrading the image of this House when Honorable Karoli stands in his place and the best he can get is a shouting match. Honorable Rahim has a right to interject, Honorable Speaker. And you have given him the right to interject. He will interject for a minute, then Honorable Karoli continues. The member for Kajiado North is there shouting at the other one, you sit down. And Honorable Speaker, you have rightly told the member for Kajiado North, Honorable Ngogoyo, you are the one presiding the House. I really want to beseech you, members. Let us not degrade ourselves to the level we are degrading ourselves, to a level worse than county assemblies, honestly. We should allow, this is exactly what I'm speaking about.
Order.
And you know, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker,
yes.
it speaks volumes to a member's maturity level. When you can't have the temerity.
Honorable Ngogoyo.
Order,
Honorable Majority Leader. Order. Honorable members, I want this House to have the dignity that it deserves. I had told you before yesterday, I'm not going to give anybody the honor of sending him out of the House because maybe they would want to appear on the headlines and that might appeal to people outside the House. The dignity of the House must be protected. But I'm going to change that now. If I hear any shouting matches here and somebody without deferring the responsibility of maintaining order in the House to the Speaker or the Chair for that matter decides to go on a shouting match across, I'm going to send you out of the House. And I can tell you one thing. I've done that many times before. And I will be willing to do it again. Honorable members, each one of you will get an opportunity. Honorable Ngogoyo, you had your moment. You contributed. You're going to contribute again to this motion if you want. Anybody who has order. Anybody, order. Who is supposed to do that? You? Kalasinga, Honorable Kalasinga, Honorable Murillo. Everybody will have his moment to rebut, to advance, to explain, to oppose, to propose, to support in this House. This is a house of talking. But it's a house of ideas. It's not a house of shouting matches. So let us maintain that dignity. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I really thank the Majority Leader for those wise words. Unfortunately, he has set the bad precedent himself in this House. He spends a lot of time addressing imaginary enemies and wasting our time here. Anyway, Honorable Speaker, as I was saying, what we have here, and I'm looking at the breakdown, there's a schedule, a long schedule here. When you look at the expenses, if this was a serious government, they could have contemplated some of them when they were making the main budget. There's nothing we can call emergency here or something that is so special. And the large amounts of resources are allocated to areas that are traditionally known for opaque expenditure and lack of accountability. That is why I'm saying much of the resources here, close to 8-point-something billion, is being taken to areas that we know are being used for politics. 200 million to enable the Deputy President continue traveling around the country doing politics. 1 billion to State House. We don't know what happens there. But most of the times we see yellow colors. It has become a party headquarters. That is not the house that is supposed to unify the entire republic. And if you look at National Intelligence Service,
Order. You are a lawyer. You understand the traditions in all democracies. There are a number of institutions that you cannot discuss them in the House. If you have to discuss them, you must have in camera. You cannot discuss the national intelligence. You cannot discuss our armed forces. You cannot discuss the Navy, the Army, the Air Force in the manner you're going to discuss any other. So you can talk about the others, but don't bring in the national intelligence or the Army or the Navy or the Air Force.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I was the top constitutional lawyer in my class. Let me remind the House.
MP for game, order. MP for game. You will remind the House later when there's
Mr. Speaker,
order. Yes.
The Honorable Karoli has been a beneficiary of many visits to State House. So you know when he visits State House, you must have some tea. Is an important institution. So, and we have many times in the night, Mr. Speaker, visited State House with Karoli. So he cannot say he doesn't know what.
That order, Honorable MP for game. MP for game. Order, Honorable MP for game. That's a point of argument. It's not a point of order. Order. Proceed, Karoli.
Honorable Speaker, our Constitution places all the security agencies under civilian oversight in this House. Section 23 of our Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act clearly says that all documents, whether from National Intelligence Service or the military, are to be brought to this house for scrutiny. So what I'm doing is correct. There is no law that says we don't have oversight. Our constitution is clear, parliamentary powers and privileges are clear.
Order. I don't know if you're on your second term or your first term. Your first term. Then you are misorder. Order. Order. Wamboka, order. I am the one who is on the floor. The chair is addressing the house. Order. If you are a first timer, you better learn that. Order. Honorable Kalasinga, I want you out of the house for the moment. Out. Until for the rest of the day. You don't even know the rules, because if I tell the Sergeant at Arms and he touches you like that, you will lose a lot of time and a lot of money. So what you don't know the rules, go and study the rules. Order, honorable members, the direction is that Honorable Kalasinga stays out of the house for the rest of the day. Honorable Kalasinga, out. The chair directs that you stay out of the house for the rest of the day. Order. No business will be transacted until you are out of the house. Order. Who was on the floor at the time?
Mr. Speaker, the interruptions continue. I'm still soldiering on. Mr. Speaker, let me strongly oppose this particular supplementary budget for the reasons I've said. And I've given the example of Talanta Stadium, where a whopping 42 billion shillings is being spent there without a tender, without sufficient public scrutiny. And we know why. We know why. We know what is happening there. But one time, in not so distant a future, there'll be accountability. And we will make sure it happens. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Majority Leader, followed by the Honorable Amolo, Otienda Amolo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support this second supplementary budget of the year 2025-2026. Honorable Speaker, let me begin by reiterating what I said when we were considering the report of the committee, that a second supplementary budget ordinarily is to realign expenditure that you cannot be able to consume maybe in one state department to another state department that will be able to consume that money within that fiscal year, or as the case is in some of the items that are here, to provide for very urgent and emergency funding that had not been provided for. And I just want to point out a few, Honorable Speaker, so that even, Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from these people making noise behind me. I can hardly hear myself. Yes, I am of the view, anybody from either side of the House. I wish I had those powers to send anyone out. But, honorable members, I was very serious when I said we need to uphold the decorum of the House. Because Honorable Karoli Omondi will stand in his place, make his point. If there is something that he says I don't agree with, I will correct the situation. Like I will be correcting what he's saying about Talanta Stadium. Honorable Speaker, I was saying some of that expenditure, and I'm happy you have guided on NIS, because NIS, our State Department for Internal Security, are getting an additional 1.5 billion and 3.5 billion to NIS for security operations. And Honorable Speaker, those of us who come from areas that have suffered insecurity, and those members from Marsabit will tell you the problems that they have had in the recent past. You cannot wait for the next financial year to be able to appropriate for security operations and security matters. Because if anything were to happen and the security agencies say they could not do it because they didn't have resources, Honorable Speaker, the discussion will be different from what we are saying here. Honorable Speaker, what are we providing for? And our own members, ordinarily I would never have gone into these details. But because there are those of us who want to make politics out of this, it is good to point it out. And I will start with what affects you as members of parliament. In this supplementary budget, if Honorable Yegon can listen, and the Honorable Benjamin Langat, if only they can listen, Honorable Benjamin Lagat and Yegon, you will know that in this budget, your own medical as members of parliament, you have an additional 110 million. Your own medical. I do not need to name names and what some of us, our colleagues, have had to go through in the recent past, and the support they have gotten from this institution. It may happen to any one of you before the end of this financial year or the next financial year. In this, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Rahim Dawood, standing where he's standing, he will interject the Honorable Karoli Omondi because he wants to be seen on TV on KBC. For him to be seen on KBC, Parliament has to pay KBC. We have provided an additional 200 billion shillings for you to continue getting the live broadcast so that you may be seen on TV, as many of you want to be seen on TV. Honorable members, many of you frequent the office of a clerk, the office of a speaker, the office of a leader of minority, leader of majority. Help me to access this or that trip. Those trips, you use Kenya Airways. In this budget, you have an additional 150 million shillings, 180 million shillings for pending bills to Kenya Airways, owed by Parliament. Owed by Parliament. In this budget, you have 100 million shillings for those of us, Honorable Speaker, who have offices at KICC, and you access your office without being fitted by anybody, even when Parliament has not paid your rent. We have provided for 100 million shillings to pay for your rent. Honorable Speaker, the people we represent, our children are going to sit for their grade 9 exams. Those who will be sitting for KCSE, the second last class, are sitting for their last exams this year. The second last class. We have provided money to NEC, 1.5 billion shillings, to do what? We have not paid our invigilators. We have not paid our examiners. We have not paid the police officers who escort those exams to ensure, and security people who ensure that those exams do not leak, to have a credible examination process. And yet, Honorable Speaker, we expect that this year we'll sit for exams, credible exams, if we have not paid our examiners and invigilators and security teams that we have not paid in the last year. Honorable Speaker, we all pontificate whenever we speak, all of us, whether here, whether in funerals, whether in political rallies, on the need to address the question of joblessness and lack of employment for millions of our youth who are ravaging out there in poverty. The greatest responsibility we have as leaders is to make sure that since we pride ourselves in the National Assembly as a budget-making house, the people with the power of the purse, we use that power to ensure that we are providing resources that will create at least, even if it is one job of a Kenyan who had no job, it is good enough. Even one job. The Nyota program, Honorable Speaker, is supporting not just the growth of entrepreneurship in our country, but creating jobs in a manner many of us who are well endowed may not understand. That 20,000 shillings, 22, 25, 30,000 shillings can change the life and livelihood of an entire family leave alone an individual. We have provided 5.7 billion shillings for the Nyota program in this. That is the money you see that is split between the State Department for MSMEs and the Youth Department. Honorable Speaker, sports stadia. I don't even want to dwell on the politics that the Honorable Karoli Omondi wanted to bring, including saying the Nairobi University had their own figures, as if the Nairobi University is a procurement authority. Honorable Speaker, Talanta Stadium, for those of you who fly, if you listen to your captains, they have been referring to the monastery in their geographical coordinates as you come to land in Nairobi. Today, I hear them referring, especially as you approach Wilson, because one of the runways is closed, the one that faces where the monastery is, they are now referring to the new landmark in the city and in the country and in East Africa and Africa as a continent, Talanta Raila Odinga International Stadium. This Raila Odinga Stadium that the Honorable Karoli Omondi does not want to hear anything to do with because it is named after Raila Odinga. A great man, a great statesman. This Talanta Stadium, under appropriations in aid, Honorable Speaker, I know some may not conceptualize what appropriations in aid is. Under appropriations in aid from the sports fund, we are allowing them a further 4.1 billion for sports stadia. Honorable Speaker, this supplementary budget, as I said yesterday, also realigns areas where people may not be able, or a State Department may not be able to absorb everything. And if you look at it, there is a reduction of about 700 million to align the budget with actual institutional requirements. 1.8 billion is coming from the contingency fund. Because when we budget, even the budget that we just did for the next financial year, Honorable Samatandi will tell you, we provided for money in the contingency fund. What does this money do? We are taking 1.8 billion because we are coming to the close of the year. That money has not been spent, and you take it to more important things where you can spend this money. For instance, you want to watch FIFA World Cup. Broadcasting rights for KBC has 150 million shillings from this. Honorable Speaker, the people of Kwale and the entire coast region and parts of the lower eastern will give you horror stories. I do not want to say horror, like someone said here, that Kenyans watching horror. You know, Honorable Naomi Wako